Okay, this is a blues shuffle, much like the last one we had in E, but the last one we were just doing the block chords E7 with the same rhythm, triplet on the fourth beat, and then we had A with the clamped first finger, and we're doing that here, and then we had B7 with four fingers. Now this B7 has the pinky on the second string, third fret. It makes it a sharp ninth chord. So it's a B chord, but has a sharped ninth. Like a regular ninth would be pinky on the second fret, which is kind of a mellow sounding chord, very pretty. But the sharp ninth is kind of spicy, kind of, it's used in funk music a lot, like blues players like Magic Sam would use it. In his song "You Belong to Me," he used a B7 sharp ninth, and Hendrix used it. Stevie Ray Vaughan used that chord. It's kind of a funky sounding chord, but it's really a jazz chord. A lot of jazz standards will have an occasional sharp to ninth chord. It's a dominant seventh chord with a sharp ninth. And now what we're going to do is sort of make a riff within the chord. And if you just played the second string, and what I would recommend in the book is to look at the tablature. There are two pages facing each other. On the left is the song chart, and on the right is the tablature. And it's, if you look at the second string, that's the note that's changing in the E7 chord. And it's the pinky going off and on the third fret. And so if you just played the second string by itself, you could do it with your third finger if you want. Just starting out, it's like O, 3, 3, O, 3, 3, 3, O, 3, O, 3, 3, O, 3, 3, 3, O, 3. And then when it goes to the A7, it goes to the first string, O, 3, 3, O, 3, 3, 3, O, 3. And then on the B7, it's on the second string with a O, 3, 3, O, 3, 3, 3, O, 3. So the pattern's a little bit unpredictable, and just so it'll have kind of a cool sound to it. And if you just went O, 3, O, 3, O, it would be a little dry, So you want to get to know that pattern. It's again O, 3, 3, O, 3, 3, 3, O, 3. So you'll do 3 threes in a row, and that throws people off a little bit when you're first learning it. But try it with the chord and just play the second string. So I'm holding the E chord, and it's O, 3, 3, O, 3, 3, 3, O, 3. And you can do that until you get comfortable, and then try it with the A7 chord, O, 3, 3, O, 3, 3, 3, O, 3. Remember, you're clamping the first finger. The second finger is normally bent. You don't want to flatten that one. And then the pinky. And the good thing about this chord is that that's partly why we're doing that flattened first finger. It's less crowded than if you did 3 fingers. You could do that, but a good blues fingering, and a lot of rockers do this because it's less crowded, you just flatten your first finger. And that's I call it a clamped A. You're kind of making a capo out of your first finger on the third and fourth strings, and then the second finger is playing the second string, second fret, and then the first string is either open or with pinky on the third fret. Don't use third finger on the third fret for this chord. Pinky is much better. Later on, you might want to do a vibrato, like, much easier than using third finger. And but you're using pinky on the other chords too, so it's kind of consistent that way. Now, on the B7, that's kind of a chord we want to talk about, because the second finger, it's like the normal B7 with the pinky on the first string. It's second, third, second finger, first finger, third finger, open, and then the pinky on the first string. Here the pinky is on the second string, third fret. And your second finger should touch the sixth string to mute it. You want the meat of your finger tip to touch the sixth string. Otherwise it sounds pretty ugly. That's really an off-key note, that open E. You want to be able to strum through it though and not have to worry about not hitting it. So you mute it with your second finger. And then now we don't really want the first string to ring on this. What we want to ring are the inside four strings, the fifth, fourth, third, and second strings. Now you can say, well, why isn't the first string ringing when I hit it? It's because I've got my pinky up against the first string lightly, just touching it while I'm strumming. And you want to make sure the pinky can kind of slide and move around. Don't hold it real stiffly, because you want to be able to strum freely. And let the pinky slide back and forth as you strum. This is actually it's called a blocking technique. So you're blocking the first string and keeping it from ringing. Now, if that's really hard for you to do, you could try just not to hit the first string. You're probably going to hit it every now and then, but it might be so light that you barely hear it. But you don't want to hit it like you're hitting it with a hammer, you know. Try to avoid the first string. But I would try to work on this pinky thing so it's just up against the side of the first string. But make it movable, keep it loose, but it's always touching the first string as you strum. So I'm holding my pick up, and then as I strum, my pinky kind of moves this way. And if you noticed in the beginning of the video, I was doing that on the B7. I had the pinky against, you might not be able to see it, but I did. And so anyway, that's, and on the light strum here, you really only hit two strings. It's the second and third string. So okay, so that's that's about all to talk about there. Now going from B to E7, the second finger is common. But when you go to the B7, you do want to scoot it over enough to mute the sixth string a little bit. One thing that's kind of cool about this, we're alternating the pinky on and off. And when you change chords, the first strum is with the pinky off. So you don't have to have the pinky on. You don't have to have all four fingers on the very first strum. When you go to A, you only need two fingers on the first strum, and then you add the pinky. So that's another thing. And on the B7, you don't need the pinky on the first strum. It's just fingers 2, 1, and 3. Then you add it. Okay? So think about that. Work on the drilling the chord changes. Like you could go do the last two beats of an E7, like, let's see. Yeah, when it stays on the 3, it's like 3, 3, 3, 0, 3, and then work on getting to the A chord right there. So it's 3, 3, 3, 0, 3, A. And then you could work on the A7 back to the E, like 3, 3, 3, 0, 3, E. And you might even play a couple of strums or go to the second beat of that measure. And then E to B7, 3, 3, 3, 0, 3, B7. Don't forget to have the pinky up against the first string. It's a little tricky, but just drill it. Okay, and then drill B7, back to E7. So go through the drills, and this will sound much more interesting. Like if I were going through this and just, if it were an actual song I was on stage, I wouldn't do the same stock pattern every time. I wouldn't even do the triplet. Change it up a little bit, but you know, since you're not used to this kind of thing, I would just do this very strict at first, and then you can loosen it up later and just try to improvise and have fun with it. All right, great. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe, John Hedger Guitar Studio, and see me on Facebook, John Hedger Guitar Studio. Give me a good like. Okay, great. Thank you.